If we look at the way we learn, what happens is we address the world with our short-term working memory. And there are two fundamental problems with that. Short-term memory degrades quite rapidly. There's another problem with short-term memory is it's very limited in capacity. So there's something called the magic number 7 that you may or may not be acquainted with, that basically says the short-term memory, the working memory, can cope with 7 bits of information plus or minus 2 at any one time. And the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve plots that degradation of memory and says that an hour after we've learned something, we've forgotten 10% of it. And 30 days after we learned something, we've forgotten 79% of it. So unless you start applying what you've learned straight away, which changes the curve, you're going to forget. And then when you need to apply it, you can't remember it. And that's a huge challenge. We can explain those mechanisms in biological terms, in neuroscience terms. So the mechanism is that in the brain, there are synapses associated with short-term memory formation. And those synapses reset in random patterns in over seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, and months, hence the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. Because when those synapses reset, they lose the information they currently hold. Your memory is degraded. Long-term memory, however, is very different. Long-term memory has synapses associated with it that reset in a distinct time sequence. And that time sequence is over a matter of minutes. And neuroscience has revealed that if you provide the same stimulus without interruption, a minimum of 3 times, within the correct time sequence, you can form a long-term memory within a matter of minutes. Now, if we could harness that, we could transform the way people learn and the effectiveness of that learning. So another thing about long-term memory, the long-term memory is, by one estimate, 300,000 times more powerful than the short-term memory. So the magic number 7 doesn't exist. It's irrelevant. If you can harness the long-term memory, then you've got infinite capacity to learn. So what we've developed is something called time sequence learning. And it's very simple. We design learning and we time sequence the information we want to deliver to the learner such that it coincides with the firing of the synapses in the brain associated with long-term memory. And that enables us to form long-term memories within one lesson, within one learning period, so we can speed up learning. And then through some what we like to think is clever instructional design, we can improve the way we communicate that learning as well. We can change the structure of learning. We've piloted this across various organisations, and we're about to pilot it with EMAS, which is a great opportunity for us to get some in-NHS validation of our methodology. Benefits are multifaceted. There's obvious benefits. One, hopefully we're delivering better training outcomes and therefore we're delivering greater competency for the learner. And that translates into a number of things. If you've learned more and you've retained information and you can imply it better, you'll be more confident. We can also improve efficiency for the organisation. Because we can reduce training times dramatically. If we've taken a week course and delivered it in 50 minutes with no loss of learning outcome for one organisation. If you can do that, you can have huge operational impact on an organisation, reducing backfill, reducing overtime, and looking at the well-being of staff. We design and deliver training. Our delivery is through what we call download modules, that ultimately video-based training modules, but that incorporates our time sequence learning. But we design whole programs. We work with our clients to design not just the download modules, but what do then the other parts of the learning blend look like. So we're not saying that download learning is a sole solution, is a silver bullet. It needs to be part of the learning blend. So we work with our clients to develop the total program solutions. We'll help with business case development if necessary. We like to think the business case is fairly self-evident if we can save that amount of time. We work with our clients and co-create these solutions. And we work with our clients then to try and understand the efficacy of that training. So we look to try and identify metrics and testing methods to ensure that actually what we're delivering works.